Hi, my name is Jessica Berry, and today I'm doing the pitch video for Conagra's testing tool pilot. So let's get started. All right, so we're really excited to be presenting this pitch video, and this is our first year in the program. So hoping that this project will really resonate with you guys and you'll be interested in participating. So first, we're going to just talk a little bit about Conagra. I'll do an intro to my team. We'll talk through the problem statement, our proposed project, and then the tech stack. So just first a little about Conagra and a little about me. My name is Jessica Berry. I manage our software development and testing team here at Conagra. The team serves the entire enterprise, so we don't just serve finance or supply chain or marketing. We serve all of the custom applications that go out to the entire enterprise, and we also partner with our portfolios to manage all of the testing and testing automation that happens within their specific applications. So for those of you that don't know, Conagra is a Fortune 250 company. It's actually headquartered in Chicago, but a large employee base and most of our IT department is located in Omaha. We have about 160 people now in the IT department, and then we have a large presence offshore in India that handles kind of our day-to-day production support. So most of the Conagra employees work on projects, grow and transform projects throughout our organization. We follow continuous delivery ways of working. So we're organized into portfolios and products, as well as shared services. So the testing and development team is a shared service team that provides services to the rest of the organization. And we work in a safe, agile methodology. So we run on 3-week sprints. The whole team use Agile. We do sprint planning, follow general ceremonies that are supported by the safe methodology. We currently have 11 billion in revenue each year, and our brands are in over 93% of American households. So probably some things you've heard of like Ready Whip, Marie Callender's, Duncan Hines, Mrs. Butterworth's, Boom Chicka Pop. All right, so I wanted to give a little background on the testing team and what the goals are kind of within our organization, things that we work on each year and really kind of important things. So we establish and provide standards and governance for testing across our organization. So based on the number of people in our organization and the way our portfolios and products are set up, we have a testing team that will say, these are the tools you use, this is the best methodology, these are the testing cycles, this is how you should manage reporting. We implement and maintain a contemporary testing suite based on the needs of the organization. So that includes defect management, automation, testing, tooling, and performance tooling. We provide guidance and support for various testing engagements. So as portfolios will spin up large initiatives, they'll come to us, ask kind of how they should lay out their testing, what their testing cycle should look like. We have standards for what defects, if they're high, medium, low, if testing is green, yellow, or red. We create best practices in sharing and provide training across our IT organization. We also provide these for business users. We develop and deliver standard metric reporting for all products. So this is actually part of this project right now that we'd be asking you guys to participate in. We have a really foundational baseline for metric reporting, but it's not necessarily widely used. And then holistically, we drive a testing strategy for our organization based on industry best practices. Okay, so our problem statement, this is a really long slide, but I can summarize it. We currently have a testing suite of tools, and they are pretty old and we're not getting a lot of usage out of them. So kind of as it's mentioned here, testing is really important to any organization. However, if you're not managing your defects in a centralized location, or if you're not managing your test cases, it's really hard to know exactly, as you have new initiatives coming up, as you have even lifecycle upgrades to applications, what test scripts you should be running. So sometimes what happens is we tend to like reinvent the wheel each time we have something new or big that happens. So we have standard testing tools because they're not very user-friendly. They haven't been upgraded in a long time, and we haven't gotten a lot of buy-in. Each portfolio, which to explain a portfolio, it's supply chain or R&D or marketing. They use different technologies and methodologies to manage application testing. The current tool we use, not super user-friendly, like I mentioned, pretty costly, doesn't have great reporting. So often these groups will have their own ways to manage their testing report or testing results, and they will not have standardized reports. So if you're working on a project, as you transition from project to project as an IT employee or even as a business user, you might be tracking testing one way in one project and one way in another project. You might be reporting out one way in one project and one way in another, or you may not be doing it at all. One challenge this has presented is as we go to scale testing automation, and testing automation is really important because if you can automate your repetitive test cases, then you can save yourself a lot of money and time. Uh, but if you don't have your test cases written down and you're not managing your defects in one central location initially, it's really hard to automate the tests because no one knows exactly what steps that you take. Conagra also has a very tenured workforce. About half of the people work here have worked here for 10 years or longer. So we have a lot of that information that lives in people's brains, and we need it to live in a system. So, we're looking to increase defect management and testing compliance through our organization so that all of our portfolios that are actively managing their test cases and defects are doing it in one centralized location. Like I mentioned, some people use old technology, some people use spreadsheets, some people don't track at all. The organization has streamlined and standardized reporting for defect management and testing cycles. We should be able to look at a portfolio or a product, be able to look at one report, see all of the defects, see all of the testing cycles, see their automation coverage, and currently we don't have that. And the reason we don't have that is because we don't have one clean source of data that everyone wants to use to manage defects, to manage test cases. The organization needs to be using a tool that's easy to use, which our current tool is not. That's performant, that integrates easily with other applications, including Jira. And we need to be able to write test cases that are clean and standardized so we can automate without a lot of oversight. If I want to automate right now, often I have to go ask somebody 2, 3, 4 times exactly how to do a step. I got to get them to check it. I got to validate it brings back the right results. It takes quite a bit more time than if everything was documented appropriately. So our proposed project, and we've done some research on testing tools out in the market, but we have some developers now. We've hired quite a few more developers that we could sustain a custom solution. So we would like the team to develop and pilot a new system. And I put these in order of importance because obviously this is a really meaty project and we've never done this. So we're not exactly sure what the scope is. We'd like to work with the team to figure out what the actual scope over the 9 months will be. But this is in order of priority what we'd like to accomplish. So we'd like to pilot a new system that manages application or program defects. So the ability to input defects across different initiatives and programs into one centralized system that will allow us to develop standardized, meaningful defect reporting. Next, develop change management materials to promote the new system. Since one of the biggest problems with people using the system we have is usability, the user experience, not being very friendly. Sometimes people are confused at how to use it. We would like the team to help us develop change management materials to help get people interested in using the new system. And then finally, create and maintain a library of test cases with the ability to pass-fail test cases, detail test steps, and insert expected results. So at the end of this, the ideal would be, and we're very open to however this looks, but potentially a web app that allows us to input, track, manage, report on defects, as well as input, manage, report on test cases with the ability to mark them as pass-failed, as ran, to create output for testing results. And as part of this, obviously you would be working a lot with my team from a product owner perspective, with my testing lead. I also have a couple developers who are really excited to work on this and work with you guys to show you the type of technology that we use at Conagra, kind of the way we work. I think it's really important as you learn and grow to know that not just how do I develop good software, but what are the processes around developing good software. So there's a lot of people who are really invested and excited to help with that. Okay, so why should you care? Like, why is this important to us? So, like we talked about before, testing is not only important to save money, because the less defects that make it to production, we make food, right? So it's very real time. If we have defects in production that would take a system down or cause an issue with shipping or ordering, that actually costs us money. So, in addition to the fact that the software that we have right now, we're paying quite a bit of money for it, and we're really not getting the value out of it. So I think cost savings, cost effectiveness, proposed savings over time is a really big factor for this. I think you should care about testing because it improves the quality of your products. So if we can standardize testing, get people to input their test scripts, get them to understand, and it isn't just a tool, right? A lot of this is a strategy that my team would have to carry forward and work through to make sure that people are understanding everything has to go in this tool. This is why it's important. It improves the quality of our products. Testing really increases business trust and partnership, in my opinion. So if you consistently hand over software to a business partner that isn't very well vetted or maybe has a lot of bugs, over time they're going to stop trusting you. So testing is a huge part of that. We want to be able to increase our velocity over time. So we want to be able to release features just as quickly as we can develop them. And testing has always been a really big bottleneck. We can have the features developed from a developer perspective and have, a week or two before we can really get through the testing cycle because everyone's scrambling. What should I test? What are my key regression test scenarios? Can I get all this sign off? So we want to be able to increase our velocity, which kind of goes hand in hand with decrease testing cycle time. So I put a very loose tech stack slide on here. We do have a dev decision tree that kind of as an introduction, we would walk you guys through, and we kind of do it based on the complexity of the ask. So we do everything in Azure in terms of database and backend. And then I think depending on how complex this would be, we would probably do an Angular front end and a .NET backend, but we've done similar applications with a Python front end and a Python backend. I think it would be incumbent on you guys. We'd like it to be a collaboration to talk through with the team and figure out what the best fit is. So that is our presentation. We're really excited to hopefully have you work with us and can't wait to see if this is something you guys want to do. Thanks.